Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Hey guys, welcome back to Freaky Fauna Fridays. I'm the great, and I'm just the great mystery today.
Oh, and I'm just Jay today. What a wonderful... Welcome back, Friday.
Let's talk
Uh-oh.
about a predator.
Oh, no.
Something that kills animals by the millions every year.
Oh, no.
A fearsome carnivore
This is getting scary, spooky.
bent on destruction.
This is Freaky Fauna, not Scary Fauna Friday.
Oh, it's freaky.
Okay.
The harp sponge.
A sponge?
Yeah.
All that for a sponge?
No, so yeah, a carnivorous sponge.
Ooh, a harp sponge?
Harp sponge.
Okay, I like the instrument.
I'm going to try to explain what this thing looks like, but I suggest everybody at home just types in harp sponge.
As long as you're not driving.
Like, don't be driving. Like,
Right,
when you
but
get home later, just look at a harp sponge.
Or if you just happen to be,
Okay, so imagine like a little tiny tree
Okay.
that forms an X in its branches, like right on top. That's the only branches. It's got 4 branches, and it's like an X.
Okay.
And then from that becomes all these giant harp strings going straight up.
Ooh.
And those strings are sticky.
Sticky?
Mm-hmm.
Like Spider-Man's webs?
Yeah, kind of. It's a web. It's the feeding tendrils of the sponge.
Okay.
So it gets a bunch of little animals stuck to it. But there's recently a couple new species discovered about these carnivores, and they're bringing questions to what we think about life.
These look like aliens.
So a lot of deep sea sponges do.
Yeah.
Ancient.
It's just, they look very odd.
Like we've talked about on the other show with the bloop, maybe a giant form of sponge.
Sponge, yeah. Wouldn't that be nuts?
Because people, you get the idea, and there's giant colander sponges and stuff like that where they're very stationary. These guys can move, and we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not extremely big. Yeah, our widest one we've discovered is 2 foot across and about 16 to 18 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
So, about medium houseplant size.
Okay.
Not massive,
big,
but not, and these are animals. Sponges are animals.
Right.
Which people seem to forget a lot.
Remember SpongeBob SquarePants? Like, just keep that in mind. They are.
He would have ate Mr. Krabs.
He's a lot. What, SpongeBob?
Mm-hmm.
Or the harp sponge?
SpongeBob is a harp sponge.
No, he's not. He just looks nothing like that.
What? Do you think he looks like a real sponge he's supposed to be?
He looks more like an actual sponge than a harp sponge.
But no, Patrick would have ate SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
Yep. These guys are found anywhere from 3,300 to 3,500 meters below the surface.
Okay, it's pretty deep.
Do you want to know that in feet?
Probably like 9 to 10,000 feet.
10,500 to 11,500.
That's close. Okay.
So pretty deep. They pretty much consistently love muddy seafloors because they have what would be considered, from a simple biological understanding, as legs that they kind of crawl along with.
Okay.
And they need to put that in the mud. They're not extremely strong. Their diet is almost exclusively small crustaceans. So they're not filter feeders. It's weird. They're passive feeders. So a lot of sea anemones and these sponges and stuff like that are catching food that's swimming around their tentacles. So they can still kind of grab, but they're not going great distances to catch and hunt food.
Okay.
So the Northwest Pacific Ocean is where these guys are found. And there's just a little blurb about them. These are a pretty new discovery.
Oh, really?
Actually understanding what they are. They've been seen for a while, but it's really hard to bring up deep sea specimens and really without them exploding.
Right, and even just seeing what they look like below the surface as opposed to...
Yeah, like the blobfish. Everybody's like, the blobfish is disgusting looking. And if you look at them when they're down there, they look nothing like that. They look like a fish.
But when they come up, they look like all sad.
A blobfish looks like a fish.
If the squonk was a fish, it's the blobfish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. There's nothing more angelic about this covert predator. Most sponges are simply filter feeders when they eat small plankton and bacteria that are filtered from the surrounding waters, which they pump through their bodies. But in 2012, scientists on the researcher Voyager on the coast of Northern California discovered a species of sponge with small hooks along its vertical branches to entrap and devour large, more nutrient-dense prey, like small crustaceans. These sponges' elegant structures, which likely evolved to maximize the surface area available to snaring food, inspire scientists to name this carnivorous deep-sea predator the harp sponge. The harp sponge is not the first carnivorous sponge scientists have ever discovered the deep sea, although the remains are expected among these sponges are very unique. The feeding strategy is the more efficient for animals adapted to food-poor deep-sea environments, while filter feeders cost valuable energy.
Okay.
There is still a lot more to learn about these sponges, and they seem to thrive in extremely stable environments of flat, muddy seafloors and relatively narrow depth range. Activities in the deep sea mining could disturb these remote areas and the species lives in. We just don't know.
Right, yeah.
So we don't know how vulnerable they are. They're kind of at a really bad spot.
They're deep and they're...
Well, they're at the muddy bottoms.
Muddies, yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what these people are like, these deep sea dredgers, which are horrible for the ocean,
Yeah.
are running because it's just they're not getting their nets caught and they're destroying all these guys.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Do you see what they're doing in Florida? This is a side note. So there's a bunch of illegal drag nets, or not, it's weird. It's the gray area.
Okay.
So these drag nets on the bottom are gigantic nets, like 2 or 3 football fields wide, and they're just destroying all the life on the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And what these, a rich guy, and from my understanding, he's spray painting his company's logo on these gigantic rocks. I mean, like trailer home sized rocks.
Okay.
And he's putting them in the lane of these boats.
Okay.
In the ocean. He's got a big cargo ship and he's just pushing them off in front of these boats to get their net snagged.
On these rocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to save the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, to stop their nets?
Yeah.
Okay.
So literally, there's a lot of fighting about this story, and I haven't looked into it too greatly. But there's one video of him like driving his boat in front of like 3 or 4 of these nets. Like they're like 2 miles away from each other. You still see him. And you just see this guy launching these trailer home sized rocks into the ocean.
These megaliths.
And he's just waving at those boats. So they got an option to pull up their nets or try to go around it.
Yeah.
And at half time, you just see these boats try to just go around it. And then the net just stops and rips off.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And it's just like...
Now we got a big net at the bottom.
But, I mean, it's catch-22, you know?
Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
They'll just be back next week.
I just think it's funny because that's kind of the stuff I'd probably do if I had
Straw
an
big rock.
ungodly money.
Yeah, straw big rock on it.
I'm like, I go to a stone quarry and I just tell them, hey, every rock that is so big you guys don't want to deal with, I'll take off your hands for you. And then just dump it in the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, that'll show them.
And he spray paints his logo on him and everything.
Yeah, so they definitely know it's him.
If they ever catch him, they pull him up. It's like, yeah.
That's Jerry again. That scoundrel, the fiend. But hey, I mean, yeah, catch 22.
Yeah, it's probably better than the nets.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, the netting and stuff like that.
I'm sure he squashed a few. Well, no, he didn't squash any harp sponges because those are in the Northwest Pacific Ocean, you said. Not Florida.
The Atlantic.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, that's correct, yeah.
So the Pacific coast of California gets a lot of deep sea study.
Okay.
Because of stuff like the, NOAA and stuff like that. Their headquarters, they dive there pretty much like once a week.
Okay.
Not saying they're not in the Atlantic. It's just the Atlantic doesn't have as much research in those zones.
Right.
When there's like literally these guys are diving pretty regularly in these deep environments off the coast of California.
And they found them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet looking.
They're odd.
How do they know they're a sponge though? Like
specimens, they pull them up.
All right, but
sponges fit all kinds of body forms.
Yeah, they don't look like a typical sponge at all.
What do you think a typical sponge looks like?
I don't know. I guess something kind of bulky looking and porous is, my idea.
So, sponges have skin before they get to the surface, and we remove the skin to make them a sponge.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't know too much about sponges.
So, like the big barrel sponges that are real famous for divers and stuff like that, they're humongous.
Yeah.
They have like a skin on them. They're green. They don't look like...
SpongeBob.
Yeah. So, basically all those little tiny, like the bristles,
are
actually like basically little tiny bones. They're not true bones, but they're like interlocking, essentially bones.
Okay.
That we peel their skin off, and then we use their bones to scrape our skin.
Gotcha. That sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm. But no, sponges don't look like SpongeBob at the bottom of the ocean.
So disappointing.
Like the loofah sponges, there's 2 types. There's the ones that come from a plant,
right?
And then the ones we pull off the ocean are like blobby.
Yeah.
like you painting sponges and stuff like that are animals. They're animal bodies, which is so weird to me.
You're scrubbing yourself with a carcass.
That or using them to paint and stuff like that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
That's what they look like more naturally, and they're big blobby animals.
Yeah, like SpongeBob's parents.
Yeah, more so than SpongeBob himself.
They're more true to form.
Yep. That's been the Harp Sponge.
The Harp Sponge.
So on this Freaky Fauna, as you go into the weekend, look for the oddness in nature.
Yeah. Find, a corpse that you can rub on your body and clean yourself with.
It's very odd, but okay.
A sponge corpse.
Throw a rock in front of a oceanic fishing vessel. If you can afford it, that is. Also, if you can afford that, please sponsor the show.
Yeah. Yeah, please. If you can afford that. Oh, we'll give you a good old ad right at the beginning and end of every Freaky Fauna.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll just talk about you for Freaky Fauna.
Yeah. We'll do an episode on one of my clones.
Now I'm talking about the guy that sponsors or the gal.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we'll do that too. Yeah.
They're Freaky Fauna.
Okay.
Spending $40,000 on a rock.
That is freaky.
And then getting a big cargo ship to shoot it in the ocean because they use those cargo container loaders to even move them.
Gee, well, you have to have something gigantic, yeah.
Jettist them into the ocean. It's the funniest videos. Everybody should look them up because the guy's just laughing the whole time he's doing it. It's something I would do if I had a bank account that I could never drain.
It's like Lex Luthor stuff.
Kinda, but
diabolical.
It's in eco-terrorism.
Right, yeah. Like Captain Planet. That's better.
It's more of the Rick and Morty Captain Plantina.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Where everybody stops listening to her, just burning everybody.
Yeah. There, we boiled it down to that one.
Or what's the actor that did, I think it was an SNL, became Captain Planet.
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
He's in some of the Tony Stark Marvel,
I don't know.
Anyways, I've been the Great and Powerful Mystery.
Oh, I've been Jay.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.